Hi, everybody. And first of all, I would like to start my contribution saying thank you to Natasha and Clive, because I think that here we are to celebrate what has been done in this decade. And for sure, we are doing it because ABC was a great method, great tool, a great experience. But I think that maybe the most important ingredient of this success is you. And the fact that it was really a pleasure to collaborate in all these years together. So I think that the key word of my presentation is impact. So what is written is chapter 5, which is my chapter. It's about how to measure impact. We did it at Humanitas University, where I worked in the last 5 years, and now I am trying to do it also in another university in Milano, in Italy, where I'm working at the moment. So I think that more or less we are all familiar with the Kirkpatrick evaluation model, because what happens with a lot of faculty development initiatives, and sometimes it happens also with ABC. We propose a workshop, an event. Then what happens? Teachers are happy. Oh, I feel so engaged. It was work. It was a great experience. I started discussion with my colleagues. So perfect. But then what stays? And that is the great question that we try to face and to answer for. So how could we go deeper in understanding the impact of such a proposal like ABC? What we designed is what we can define the ABC two-phase model. The entry point is more or less what has been described in the previous intervention, the traditional ABC moment. So here you can see it described as the ex ante. Of course, it happens before, some month before a new program launch. So we have all the teachers who were involved, for example, in the first year of a new program, all the ones who are teaching modules or courses in that program in the same year are sitting together and discussing together. So it is the traditional format. Then we have the implementation. It means we have the first year going. And then what happens? We are proposing teachers to meet 1 year later or 1 semester later, but I prefer 1 year later. 1 year later, and maybe it's important to clarify it, but after all of the teachers were involved at least also in one exam session. So to have also this kind of information available, which is the results. So what is happening in that ex post meeting? We try to facilitate the conversation first at an individual level, then at the group level. The group is composed of all the teachers who are working within the same course, so they have modules that are connected one with the other, and then we pass through a general discussion. But the main point, the most important one, is to reflect what happened in that year. Let's look at the differences between what has been designed, the ex ante workshop, and what was really in place, what happened in reality, and look about the gaps. It's not that what has been planned 1 year ago was for sure the best choice. Maybe we were not completely aware of some boundaries, of some realities. So for each gap between what happened, what we declared, and what we intended to do 1 year ago, and what happened, we try to reflect together. So it was a good idea. I was not able to put it in practice, but I will do it. Or vice versa. It was not a good idea. And I realized thanks to this information. And so that's what I will do next year. What is happening is a sort of routine to revisit with a critical eye. I would like just to tell you about, for example, one specific program that it is exactly a program like the ones that Clive mentioned. It was about transdisciplinarity as the key point of the course, because it was medtech. It was at the end of the program, you are both a medical doctor and biomedical engineer. So it was absolutely important to reinforce transdisciplinarity mindset. So at the very first level, one of the adaptations that we had with the workshop for that specific program was to map, to see concretely where you are really put in practice those transdisciplinary mindset. And then year after year, what we try to do is to see, are those events, those learning points still there? And what we realized, it was not always the case, or that the energy was also from the teacher's point of view are declining, and so we have to rebuild also this kind of willingness to design, to put in practice the signature finally of the program itself. Before closing my intervention, I also would like to tell you something about an alternative way also to look at impact. Here you can see in these slides two boxes. The first one is about what we have just described about the ex post workshops, but there's also another opportunity to try to investigate the impact of ABC. And what we try to do is to see what the teachers are attending the other voluntary faculty development events. So is ABC in a certain way able to facilitate the participation to other events? Could we map the trajectories of participation to the entire faculty development offer? I think that this is an interesting way to see also, to interpret what impact could be if we are putting ABC as part of the faculty development offer of a university. So finally, to close my intervention, I think that the two-phase model that we are trying to implement is reinforced reflective practice. Also, my colleagues later will talk about it. I think that it's really something that could make the difference, because we have a lot of opportunities also to develop a self-reflective practice for teaching, with teaching observation, with some other tools. But moving from the individual level to the group level, and with the group I mean the group of teachers who are teaching in the same program year after year, I think that this could really make the difference in terms of quality of the teaching experiences.